169. In May 2022, Intel announced that they have acquired Finnish graphics technology firm Siru Innovations. The firm, founded by ex-AMD Qualcomm mobile GPU engineers, is focused on developing software and silicon building blocks for GPUs made by other companies and is set to join Intel's fledgling accelerated computing systems and graphics group. 270, Acquisition Table, 2009 present. Intel acquisitions since 2009. Number acquisition announcement. Company business country price used as or integrated with Ref. S. 1 June 4, 2009. Wind River Systems Embedded Systems $884M Software, 271, 2 August 19, 2010. McAfee Security $7.6B Software, 272, 3 August 30, 2010. Infineon, partial, wireless Germany $1.4B mobile CPUs, 273, 4 March 17, 2011. Silicon Hive DSP Netherlands N/A mobile CPUs, 274, 5 September 29, 2011. Telmap Software Israel $300, 315 Location Services, 275, 6 October 30, 2011. Envision Software Israel $5060M Software, 276, 7 April 13, 2013. Masharpi Management $180M Software, 277, 8 May 6, 2013. Stone Soft Corporation Security Finland $389M Software, 278, 9 July 16, 2013. Omic Interactive Gesture Israel N/A Software, 253, 10 September 13, 2013. Indices Natural Language Processing Spain N/A Software, 254, 11 March 25, 2014. BASIS Wearable US N/New Devices, 279, 12 August 13, 2014. Avago Technologies, partial, semiconductor $650. Communications Processors, 280, 13 December 1, 2014. Passwordbox Security Canada N/A Software, 281, 14 January 5, 2015. Vuzix Wearable US $24.8M. New Devices, 282, 15 February 2, 2015. Lantic Telecom Germany $345M. Gateways, 283, 16 June 1, 2015. Ultra Semiconductor $16.7. Programmable Solutions Group, PSG, E.G.FPGAs, 258, 17 June 18, 2015. Recon Wearable $175M. New Devices, 284, 18 October 26, 2015. Safran Technology Cognitive Computing Use Undisclosed Software, 260, 19 January 4, 2016. Ascending Technologies UFS Germany Undisclosed New Technology, 285, 20 March 9, 2016. Replay Technologies Video Technology Israel Undisclosed 3D Video Technology, 286, 21 April 5, 2016. Yogai Tech EO. Security and Advanced Driver Assistance Systems, Italy Undisclosed Software, 287, 22 August 9, 2016. Nirvana Systems Machine Learning Technology $350M. New Technology, 288, 23 September 6, 2016. Movidius Computer Vision Ireland Undisclosed New Technology, 262, 24 September 9, 2016 Soft Machines Semiconductor $250M New Technology.
Yes, that's a lot of information, and of course I cannot remember that, but to see that Intel Corporation have a close tie to Israel, because one of the founders is Hungarian Israeli Jews. No, he's American Jewish, so they have Intel processors, factories, fabs in Israel, and they just built some new one. You can see there's a lot of Israel there. So we have to read about Israel and this Kiryat Gat, because Israel is a big part of the Intel. No, not the state of Israel, but Israel had many, Intel Corporation had many employees in Israel. So if I go travel, I could go to like there, because I've been in Israel when I was very young. I was in Jerusalem. I was in my early 20s, so if I get a famous YouTuber and get some more money, I could travel to Israel again and Jerusalem and visit this Kiryat Gat and this Intel factories. I could maybe get inside, but maybe I could record video from outside. And I would like to visit Jerusalem again, but I don't have money for that. But let's just continue reading.
$289, 25 March 16, 2017 Mobile Autonomous Vehicle Technology Israel $15B Self-Driving Technology, 290, 291, 26 July 12, 2018 ESIC Semiconductor Use Undisclosed Programmable Solutions Group, 292, 27 April 16, 2019 Omnitech FPGA Video Acceleration Undisclosed Video Acceleration, 293, 294, 28 June 10, 2019 Barefoot Networks Networking Use Undisclosed Network Switches, 295, 29 December 16, 2019 Habana Labs Machine Learning Technology Israel $2B New Technology, 296, 30 May 4, 2020 Move It Transit Data Israel $900M Transit Data, 297, 31 May 20. 2020 Rivet Networks Networking Use Undisclosed, 298, 32 September 24, 2020 Cosmoneo Computer Vision Netherlands Undisclosed Software, 299, 33 November 9, 2021 Remote My App Cloud Gaming Poland Undisclosed Software, 300, 34 December 6, 2021 Screen of 8 Computer Vision Israel Undisclosed Software, 301, 35 February 15, 2022 Tower Semiconductor Manufacturing Israel $5.4 billion Intel Foundry Services, IFS, 302, 36 March 31, 2022 Granulate Cloud Computing Israel $650M Cloud and Data Center, 303, 37 May 3, 2022 Siru Innovations Graphics Card. Finland Undisclosed Graphics and Software, 304. Ultrabook Fund, 2011. In 2011, Intel Capital announced a new fund to support startups working on technologies in line with the company's concept for next-generation notebooks. 305. The company is setting aside a $300 million fund to be spent over the next 3 to 4 years in areas related to Ultrabooks. 305. Intel announced the Ultrabook concept at Computex in 2011. The Ultrabook is defined as a thin, less than 0.8 inches, 2 cm thick, 306, notebook that utilizes Intel processors, 306, and also incorporates tablet features such as a touch screen and long battery life. 305, 306, at the Intel Developers Forum in 2011. 4 Taiwan ODMs showed prototype Ultrabooks that used Intel's Ivy Bridge chips. 307, Intel plans to improve power consumption of its chips for Ultrabooks, like new Ivy Bridge processors in 2013, which will only have 10W default thermal design. Power. 308, Intel's goal for Ultrabooks price is below $1,000 winking sad smiley 306. However, according to two presidents from Acer and Compaq, this goal will not be achieved if Intel does not lower the price of its chips. 309, open source support. Intel has a significant participation in the open source community since 1999. 310. For example, in 2006 Intel released MIT licensed X.org drivers for their integrated graphic cards of the i965 family of chipsets. Intel released FreeBSD drivers for some networking cards. 311, available under a BSD-compatible license. 312, which were also ported to PIMS. 312. Binary firmware files for non-wireless Ethernet devices were also released under a BSD license allowing free redistribution. 313, Intel ran the Marblin project until the 23rd of April, 2009, when they handed the project over to Linux Foundation. Intel also runs the lesswhats.org campaigns. 314. However, after the release of the wireless products called Intel Pro /Wireless 2100, 2200 BG /2225 BG /2915 ABG and 3945 ABG in 2005. Intel was criticized for not granting free redistribution rights for the firmware that must be included in the operating system for the wireless devices to operate. 315. As a result of this, Intel became a target of campaigns to allow free operating systems to include binary firmware on terms acceptable to the open source community. Linspire Linux creator Michael Robertson outlined the difficult position that Intel was in releasing to open source, as Intel did not want to upset their large customer Microsoft. 316. Theodor Rath of OpenBSD also claimed that Intel is being an open source fraud after an Intel employee presented a distorted view of the situation at an open source conference. 317. In spite of the significant negative attention Intel received as a result of the wireless dealings, the binary firmware still has not gained a license compatible with free software principles. 318. Intel has also supported other open source projects such as Blender. 319, and Open3D Engine. 320, corporate identity. Logo used from 1968 to 2006. Logo used from January 3, 2006. 321, 322, to September 2, 2020. 323, logo since September 2, 2020. Ongoing in its history, Intel has had 3 logos. The first Intel logo featured the company's name stylized in all lowercase, with the letter E dropped below the other letters. The second logo was inspired by the Intel Inside campaign, featuring a swirl around the Intel brand name. 324. The third logo, introduced in 2020, was inspired by the previous logos. It removes the swirl as well as the classic blue color in almost all parts of the logo, except for the dot in the I. 323, Intel Inside. Intel has become one of the world's most recognizable computer brands following its long-running Intel Inside campaign. The idea for Intel Inside came out of a meeting between Intel and one of the major computer resellers, MicroAge. 325. In the late 1980s, Intel's market share was being seriously eroded by upstart competitors such as Advanced Micro Devices, now AMD, Zilog, and others who had started to sell the less expensive microprocessors to computer manufacturers. This was because, by using cheaper processors, manufacturers could make cheaper computers and gain more market share in an increasingly price-sensitive market. In 1989, Intel's Dennis Carter visited MicroAge's headquarters in Tempe, Arizona, to meet with MicroAge's VP of Marketing Ron Mayen. MicroAge had become one of the largest distributors of Compaq, IBM, HP, and Athers, and thus was a primary although indirect driver of demand for microprocessors. Intel wanted MicroAge to petition its computer suppliers to favor Intel chips. However, Mayen felt that the marketplace should decide which processors they wanted. Intel's counter-argument was that it would be too difficult to educate PC buyers on why Intel microprocessors were worth paying more for. 325. Mayen felt that the public didn't really need to fully understand why Intel chips were better, they just needed to feel they were better. So Mayen proposed a market test. Intel would pay for a MicroAge billboard somewhere saying, if you're buying a personal computer, make sure it has Intel Inside. In turn, MicroAge would put Intel Inside stickers on the Intel-based computers in their stores in that area. To make the test easier to monitor, Mayen decided to do the test in Boulder, Colorado, where it had a single store. Virtually overnight, the sales of personal computers in that store dramatically shifted to Intel-based PCs. Intel very quickly adopted Intel Inside as its primary branding and rolled it out worldwide. 325. As is often the case with computer lore, other tidbits have been combined to explain how things evolved. Intel Inside has not escaped that tendency, and there are other explanations that had been floating around. Intel's branding campaign started with the Computer Inside tagline in 1990 in the US and Europe. The Japan chapter of Intel proposed an Intel in it tagline and kicked off the Japanese campaign by hosting Nikkei-Con, meaning station concert in Japanese, at the Tokyo Railway Station Dome on Christmas Day, the 25th of December, 1990. Several months later, the Intel Inside logos from 1991 to 2003. The Intel Inside logos from 2003 to 2006. The Computer Inside incorporated the Japan idea to become Intel Inside, which eventually elevated to the worldwide branding campaign in 1991 by Intel marketing manager Dennis Carter. 326. A case study, Inside Intel Inside, was put together by Harvard Business School. 327. The 5-note jingle was introduced in 1994 and by its 10th anniversary was being heard in 130 countries around the world. The initial branding agency for the Intel Inside campaign was Dalen Smithwhite Advertising of Salt Lake City. The Intel swirl logo was the work of Dalen Smithwhite art director Steve Grigg under the direction of Intel president and CEO Andy Grove. The Intel Inside advertising campaign sought public brand loyalty and awareness of Intel processors in consumer computers. 328. Intel paid some of the advertisers' costs for an ATOT used the Intel Inside logo and Xylo Marimba jingle. 329. In 2008, Intel planned to shift the emphasis of its Intel Inside campaign from traditional media such as television and print to newer media such as the Internet. 330. Intel required a minimum of 35% of the money it provided to the companies in its co-op program Burst for online marketing.